Alright, everybody, welcome back to another episode of So What's the Issue? Y'all know I'm your boy Solo Fo. Today I'm coming to y'all with another topic. This one got the internet a little bit, bounce back and forth with it. Today's conversation is going to be, can people without kids give advice to people with kids? And me, y'all know me. I feel like everybody should be open to any type of advice at all times, no matter whether it's good, bad, or whatnot. But I'm gonna just jump into it real quick. I don't think anybody in our community, period, handles conversations about them or judgments or advice about them ever takes it well, whether it's about kids or whether it's about the person in general. I don't think people really, too much like people don't like being commented on or criticized or anything like that because everybody's going through their own unique type of personal situations and stuff like that. It's all that's not to, give anybody a quick cop out or no shit like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump in it. So for me, what it boils down to in this situation is what is the advice that a person is giving you? What is the person is coming and tell you? And I ain't saying it's got to be as innocent as this, but if a person is coming to you and asking you like, hey, are you raising your child Christian? Or are you raising your child eating certain foods? Or are you giving your child this type of rest, sleep, this, and that. If somebody's talking to your kids about that type of stuff specifically, then no, they can't tell you specifically what to do in that type of situation. But if somebody is looking at your actions as a parent and they're actually coming to you as a person because they feel like they see things that you're doing to, whatever that you're doing things that they don't find is correct to be doing towards a child. We were all kids at one point in time. So I'm gonna start by saying that we were all kids at one point in time. We all at some point in time, especially growing up in our community, the way we grew up in our community, we've seen bad parenting. We know what bad parenting is. Now, my big thing on the situation is, like I said, what is it specifically that a person is judging you on or saying to you about? Because if a person is coming to you as a parent, if a person is coming to you and saying, hey, this situation don't require you to pull that belt out. Why don't you go sit down and talk to your child? This situation over here don't require this, and that. All right, maybe that's a little bit choppy, but at the same time, you should be able to hear advice on that. But at the same time, I see it being way worse. See, me, whenever I speak up on bad parenting, it's always some actual bad parenting. Whenever I see the bad parenting, it's this type of shit. Hey, do you think you can help me with a couple dollars so I can get my kids some shoes? Do you think you can help me with a couple dollars so I can do this and get... I see these type of situations and it's like, hey, but I just seen you partying last week. You was just on Facebook Live and Instagram Live doing it up. Like, why the fuck are you so broke right now? Why are you so down bad right now to where now it's about to be the beginning of school? Now it's about to be Christmas. Now it's about to be something where it requires you to show your kids some type of attention and money. And I'm not saying every single time, but yes, when it comes down to you actually needing to spend some money on your kids, how come when these situations come about, everybody wants to, well, you don't understand what it's like to be a parent because you ain't got no kids. What does that got to do with having kids? That type of situation ain't got shit to do with having kids. That's just about a person seeing like, hey, the start of school is here. Why don't your ass have some type of means to give your kids something? It ain't got shit to do about who does and who doesn't have kids. You're just upset because somebody said something to you. And what I don't like is people hide behind this, because I can guarantee you right now, we go to the West End, I can find, and this is me, I go individual situation for individual situation. And if it don't fit right, it just don't fit right. But I promise you, if I go to the West End, East End, and South Side right now, I can point out 40 people. I can point out 50 people right now that ain't raising their kids right. Their kids running around just dirty as hell. And it's like, I don't like calling kids dirty because I used to run around dirty, holes in the clothes and shit like that. I came up with bad parenting because That's the reason why I can speak so heavy on this shit, because I grew up with the shit. You ain't gotta have kids to know what bad parenting looks like, because we all were kids at one point in time. But I can go to the West End right now and show you people that got their lights off. I can go to the West End right now and show you empty refrigerators. I can go to the West End right now and show you these motherfucking dirty ass houses. But you can't judge because you ain't got no kids. What you mean? That ain't got shit to do with who does and who does and don't got kids. This has to do with what you're doing wrong as a person, not as a parent. This is as a person. Now, if you got some things where you feel like, okay, speak specific. What is it that as a person with kids gets to speak on that a person that doesn't have kids doesn't get to speak on? Tell me a situation right now. And I know the situations, but if you're going to be the person that throws this shit out there and be like a person can't speak on you because you the one with the kids and they the person without the kids, tell me the situation that comes about where that's true. Because if a person's telling you, hey, your house is filthy, then you just need to go clean the fuck up. I'm sorry. I know it hurts your feelings that you actually got to sit here and listen to somebody tell you something about yourself that you don't like, but you just got to sit through that. People, y'all smoke too much weed. Y'all drink too much. Y'all do way too much partying. And then when time comes when y'all want somebody else to help y'all or do for y'all, the first thing that y'all do, well, you can't judge me because you ain't got no kid. You can't be the one to judge me because why? Because you're doing wrong. You're the one that's doing wrong, and I can't speak on it because I don't have kids. People love to jump into that, but like I said, I want people to come out and say, because I know there's reasonable things, and I'm not just giving the lightest examples, but I know there's things out there that household to household, you get to, as a parent, pick out what you want for your kids rather than what you don't want for your kids. But when it really boils down to it, the times that people are really speaking up, they're not talking about whether you should raise your kids Christian. They're not talking about whether you should give your kids vitamins before they go to bed. They're not talking about these things. Usually, what people are talking about is your real bad parenting, how y'all popping too many pills, how bad y'all chasing around another nigga then getting beat up in front of your kids and shit like that. But you know what? One thing never fails to happen in our community, which is nonsense. When's the last time y'all ever heard somebody say, hey, don't tell nobody what's going on in my house just for no reason? Because usually that comes with something. Usually that means the mama's getting beat up. The daddy's beating somebody up. The lights is off. The refrigerator's empty. It's usually got something to do with something real negative for them to pull out that, well, look, when you go over to your daddy's house, don't tell them. When you go to your granny's house, don't tell them what I got going on in my house. Don't tell them. When's the last time you heard somebody just say that just to be saying it? Because where I grew up at, how I grew up, it's always something negative that comes behind that. I went through all of that trauma. Whatever trauma you want to talk about, that whole whatever, don't speak about what goes on in this house. It's all bad. It's all negative. It ain't never been a person that came out and said, don't tell nobody what's going on in my house because I got you a new PlayStation. You ain't never heard no shit like that. So you come out, y'all tell me where these situations come out, because y'all like to do a lot of guru shit. Y'all like to do a lot of wolf in sheep clothing shit. Y'all like to, so look, we gonna collectively come out and say some shit that sounds about right. Like you can't judge people and tell people how to raise their kids collectively. But if I go to you individually, if I come to your house that you living in on Section 8 because you can't afford to pay real rent, and I'm not saying that's the worst thing in the world. Hold on, let me pause because I am going a little bit too fast. On Section 8 is not the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, if you got 5 kids and you living on Section 8, you doing your kids a disservice. That means you're not providing in the right way. You're not doing the right way for your kids. If you got 2 kids, if you got 1 kid and you doing the Social Security and all of that extra shit before a certain age, I believe, whatever, that's okay. But after a certain point, once you start to get to 26, 27, you need to get your kids out the West End. What what positive comes out of you having your kids in the West End? And yeah, that's a judgment thing. I'm judging you for that because I know what the West End is. I know what the South End is. It's a bunch of gunshots. It's a bunch of people dying. The first year out of high school, I lost a lot of my friends. The second year out of high school, I lost a lot of my friends. How many of y'all got the same story because of gun violence, because of drug addiction, because of this and that? But y'all ain't gotta get y'all kids out of these situations. Y'all ain't gotta move y'all kids on the better. Yeah, but what y'all gotta do is y'all gotta keep up with your friends. When one person has 2 kids, you gotta have 3. When you have 4 kids, they gotta have 6. The niggas can't be in the kids' life for shit. You tell me how many fathers is really in these kids' life in the West End if they ain't dead or in jail. Like, come on now. And then y'all keep picking the same goddamn type of baby daddy bills and then turn around and my baby daddy ain't there. So I'm doing the best that I can as a single mother. And then on top of that, let's be honest, a lot of y'all didn't even know y'all baby daddies to begin with. And I'm not just attacking the women, I'm attacking the niggas too. Like, the niggas is deadbeat pieces of shit. Shout out to the ones that actually are there for their kids, but the parents in the West End, the parents in the South End, the parents in the East End, they the most bullshit parents. And I'm gonna tell you what type of father I had growing up. Well, I ain't sending no motherfucking shoes over to your house because all your mama gonna do is sell them. The fuck you mean, nigga? Why the fuck you ain't gonna come get me? If you see my situation, see, this is the problem that I have with our community. They say a whole bunch of bullshit and try to make it sound right to their friends. Nah, cause dog, don't that make sense? Dog, nah, cause don't that make sense though? Cause this bitch gonna sell the shoes as soon as I get them. Well, bitch, come and get me. If you know that the problem in my household is that bad, if you know the shit going on in my household is that bad, little nigga, why not come get me? Why not go and do the things that you need to do as a man? Get your child out of that situation. For the females, why the fuck are y'all so content when chasing behind niggas, sitting up under niggas, while y'all kids is sitting in the next room, sitting there in a dirty ass room, running around with dirty ass diapers, running around with no food in the refrigerator. But y'all got a whole bunch of mouth. Y'all got a lot to say when a motherfucker come out and judge y'all for the stupid shit. And what really kills me is y'all be fighting y'all own best friends over the shit. Y'all be getting into it with y'all own friends over the shit because y'all friends will go tell Shakita down the block, hey, Shakita, guess what? I went over Shaquanda's house and Shaquanda's baby was running around with the same dirty ass pamper on, and now y'all ready to fight because this person done went and said something. How about instead of doing that, you do what you're supposed to do as a parent? You get up and you change your kid's diapers. So nobody has to come and tell you as a parent that you need to change this goddamn baby's diapers. I done seen babies running around the house with all types of dirty ass clothes on that you can tell that they done had on for the last week. They done had these same dirty ass clothes on. And I know y'all see it, especially if you live in the West End. And you might not want to admit it's you, but it's also you. You not attending to your kids. But how many times have y'all seen it? Let's be honest. How many times have y'all actually seen the situation where y'all looking around and the kids is running around in the worst type of situation? Oh, but people know how to get real fly for Easter. If one thing's sure, people can get real fly for Easter. People can make it look good for the camera. When birthdays come around, oh, look, we selling out Mr. Gaddy. But after the age of 6, tell me how much of that shit goes on. I guarantee when the baby's 7, you don't see a whole bunch of parties and shit going on because at this point, it's just full hang up under a nigga mode because the kids can take care of themselves at this point. The kids can do what the fuck the kids want to do at this point. And you know, I really do hate that this is the type of way that y'all handle this situation, but really have the audacity because I ain't got kids. Y'all really gonna come out and say some shit like, well, you ain't got kids, so you don't understand the situation. Shut up. Shut up. And I'm not saying it to the people that are on they shit, but let's be real. Are you on your shit? See, a lot of people won't keep it real and keep it a buck. A lot of people won't share the gems that I'm gonna drop because it applies to them. And when it applies to you, you don't want to admit that. Nah, he said I smoke weed. Hell nah. It can't be nothing wrong with me smoking weed because that's how I get through my day. You know, I only smoke I only smoke this amount per day, but I swear to God, the same person that's sitting here talking about how they can handle smoking and shit like that, I swear to God, these same people, when school time comes around, hey, I ain't even got it for my kids. Why? Why? When you was just in the club, when I just seen you turning up, we see your life. We see what the fuck you got going on a day to day. But the first thing that you want to do is try to criticize somebody else that's criticizing you. You doing a whole bunch of hiding in sheep's clothing. Just because you see that the saying should be right, you shouldn't be able to judge people if you ain't got no kids, because that sounds right. That sounds like something that, and that's a whole bunch of guru shit. And y'all gonna hear me say this shit a lot if y'all watch my podcast. That's a whole bunch of guru shit. Y'all motherfuckers say a whole bunch of shit that sounds correct for the internet, but at the same time, y'all don't keep it real. Y'all don't keep it a buck. When the motherfuckers is really sitting here saying something to y'all, all you gotta do is take that shit in. Listen, hear. That's what's wrong with us. We don't want to fucking hear nobody say anything about us, but then want to turn around. Oh, well, back in the day, the slaves, they was the biggest, strongest. Bitch, stop with all the fucking guru shit. Y'all want to talk about aliens. Y'all want to talk about a whole bunch of goofy shit. How about we talk about how your ass ain't taking care of your kids? Pay attention to your kids for 5 minutes. And it might seem like I'm all over the map, but at the same time, the realest shit in the world that I can tell you is you are the problem. You are the reason why all of these kids are getting shot. You are the reason why. I'm not saying it like this because it is a tragedy. It is a tragedy every time a person loses their child. And I know that's got to be a horrible feeling. I can't imagine. That's a lot right now, and I can't really read all of it, but I will get back to that comment once this video is done. But it is a real tragedy. It is a real tragedy when a parent loses a child. But at the same time, you raised your child in the West End, and you sat in the house and told your child to go play at the park. They got into drug dealing. They got into gang banging. And when it was in its early stages, you were fine with it because it was kind of cute. You were fine with it because you were kind of okay with it. You were fine with it whenever it was in a cute stage. But now when your baby's laid in the street dead, now that's a problem. You should have been moved off this Section 8 house. You should have been moved out the West End. I hate when I hear people say you ain't gotta own your house to be successful in this lifetime. What the fuck you mean you don't got to own your house to be successful? That is part of y'all's fucking issue. You buy your house right now while it is at $60,000. Guess what the fuck that saves you for the rest of your life? It saves you and your child from ever having to pay rent again in their life. All you have to do is pay a simple $1,000 mortgage. But no, that's too much. That's too much of a responsibility because everybody ain't gotta own a house to be successful in this lifetime. That saves you and your child $1,400 a month for the rest of y'all's life. For the rest of your fucking life. You at least, if anything happens to you, if anything ever happens to you, you with 1 kid, you with 2 kids, you with 3 kids, your kids will always have a structure to at least fall back on. At least fall back on. But we don't want to prepare our kids for shit in our community. What the fuck? I get so tired. I get so fucking tired of sitting here looking at y'all raise these kids in the most pathetic situations, and then we got to turn around and look at the news like they the biggest criminals in the world. Yes, whenever I grew the fuck up, I did a lot of stealing. Why the fuck not? When my fucking refrigerator's empty, when my fucking lights is off, when my daddy won't do shit for me because my mama ain't shit, when my mama ain't gonna do shit because she was too young to have me in the first fucking place. Why the fuck not am I not gonna grow the fuck up to become a thief? Why the fuck am I not gonna grow up to sell dope? Why the fuck am I not gonna grow up to start? I didn't say anything about that. You did. Hold up. Why do you gotta be married to have a kid? That makes no sense. No, I didn't say that. Please don't. And I'm not coming at you when I say that, but please don't confuse my words. I never once said that. I don't know where that came from. I said a house, a house. I don't know, but back to it. But yeah, I'm going. Oh, okay. My bad. All right, my bad. But yes, we as a people need to start doing more to teach our kids to better prepare themselves. And you as a person needs to start actually doing shit for your kids. You need to start saving money for them. You need to start buying your house. You need to start doing a lot more shit than what you're doing. You need to start doing a whole lot more shit than what the fuck you doing. Because look at where the kids are right now. We sit here, turn on the kids. Oh, it's a lot of senseless murder. Bitch, how did you raise these kids? I'm not just talking to females. I don't want that bitch word to seem like I'm coming at females. I'm talking about every single person. I'm talking about the West End, East End, South Side community united. Like, why the fuck? Why the fuck do we keep telling each other these stupid ass things? Why the fuck do we keep saying stupid ass shit to each other? Because it kinda sounds right. Because it kinda sounds... Well, nah, cause look, I ain't gotta go to school to be successful in life. Then do what else? Work at McDonald's for $15 an hour? Which they just got to that. Work at McDonald's for $15 an hour? And how many kids y'all got? Let's be real. 4 kids? Let's be real. How many kids do y'all got? 5 kids? But McDonald's works, right? McDonald's works, right? Y'all want to sit on SSI, depend on food stamps, depend on government assistance. Y'all want to depend on all of this other goofy shit instead of being a man, being a woman, not being stupid with your life. Don't be fucking stupid with your life. Don't have 3, 4 kids. Why can't we come together to teach the people to not have so many kids before they have so many fucking kids? Like, that's the issue. That's what's wrong with the community. That's what's going on. We don't take enough time to stop to say, okay, wait a minute. Maybe this lesson ain't for me. Maybe this lesson ain't actually for me. Maybe it's for me to hand down to the kids that I've already birthed. Maybe it's for me to hand down to the next person. But we real quick to tell our kids, when you turn 18, you gonna get the fuck out of my house. How many of us heard that? We real quick to tell our kids about food stamps, LIHEAP, all of these government assistance. But how many of y'all is telling y'all kids, go the fuck to school, stop playing around? No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't get to read your whole thing, and maybe me and you will have a different conversation because I hate having multiple conversations in one conversation because that distorts and dilutes what the actual conversation's about. But I'm going to be real quick. Any job is not better than any job. Once you turn 25, you need to be looking for something that pays as close to $20 plus an hour. Let me make that very clear. No, nobody is knocking your hustle. Nobody is knocking your anything. But after the age of 25, you need to start looking for something that pays a little bit better, because you having kids on less than $20 an hour is keeping your child in poverty. You don't understand, and I'm not talking about you specifically, you don't understand what poverty means. Poverty is not livable wages. I mean, what I'm talking about is something specific, and like I said, man, you can have and I'm not saying that to cop out, but it's gonna dilute my whole point, and I'm trying not to have like multiple conversations, but we can definitely. Oh, I grew up there too. I grew up I didn't have a home. I'm gonna be very clear. I did not have a home growing up. I grew up everywhere. I grew up every single place. West End, East End, South Side, Indiana. I grew up everywhere on everything because I was just that unfortunate as a child. But like I said, back to the actual, conversation at hand. Like, we have to stop this wolf in sheep clothing conversation, this guru talk, because Right now, how easy do you think it is to point out 500 bad parents in the West End? I guarantee you can do it very simply. I can just walk down the street and just point at houses. I don't, and it's not even to be funny. I can walk down the street and point at houses, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to be 3 to 5 kids living in that house, and they're going to be struggling. And yeah, they're going to have the, oh, well, we make it work conversation. You're not making it work. Your child is suffering. Your child is suffering to some degree. Yes. Whether it's you mentally abusing your child, that's a real thing. It's not all financial. It is not all financial. People like to make shit like it's all financial. It's not. It's emotional. You weren't prepared to be a parent your goddamn self. So you don't teach your child the finer lessons. You don't talk to your kids the proper way. You don't come at them like they're also a human being. A lot of people like to just talk to their kids like they another person. Because how many times have you seen kids be a whole bunch of bitches? How many times have y'all seen kids be a whole bunch of motherfuckers and a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that? I guarantee y'all seen plenty of people in y'all family do it, and I guarantee ain't none of y'all spoke about it. I guarantee ain't none of y'all spoke about it because half of y'all done did it yourself. Half of y'all done really sat there and went in on y'all kids and talked to them, called them a whole bunch of bitches, and how I bust you in your motherfucking head. That's because you're not in an emotional place to handle your kids. Yeah, I can 100%. Like, how many times have y'all seen that though? How many times have y'all literally seen people sit there and talk to their kid like they another person on the street? I tell you this, people really will sit here, nah, cause I beat you up for real. See, that was me and my father's exchange right there. Like, fuck the ass whooping. It went straight to, I beat your ass for real. And it's like, damn, I ain't even 10 years old yet. Like, you talking about beating my ass like I'm a nigga off the street. Like, these things happen. Like, these things happen. But nobody is allowed to comment on your parenting. Nobody's allowed to comment on that. But tell me what it is. And I know the answer. Because I'm not stupid. I understand what it is that a person should and shouldn't say to a person that has kids because it's strictly off of how they want to parent the kid. It's strictly off of that. I know what it is. But you tell me, and it's not nobody specific when I say you, you tell me what it is that a person shouldn't be giving you advice about as a parent. You tell me that. You tell me exactly what this statement is supposed to be about, or who this statement is supposed to be talking about, because it's a lot of people that will go out here and hide under that disguise of I'm allowed to, you're not allowed to say it, but be a terrible parent. And a lot of y'all friends don't want to admit it to y'all. A lot of people won't admit it to y'all. But what somebody is doing, a person without kids is doing, is telling you, hey, something's wrong with that specific situation. How many people, and I believe it's a lot of people, actually feel like they're being picked with because somebody said something to them about something? And I'm not saying every single situation fits. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that a lot of the shit that people come up to y'all and tell y'all about y'all parenting, it needs to just be listened to. Whether you feel like it's right or wrong, whether you feel like it should be or shouldn't be, a person came to you. Can you take the time to at least step back and at least listen? And I didn't read your full comment, but you did bring me to one of my other points. Please, let's stop making the standard for raising a child. Well, they made it to 18. I provided what they needed so that until they got to 18. Is that really what the line was? Was to get your child to 18 without dying? Or was you and your child supposed to live a happy life? Was y'all supposed to instill lessons? Were y'all supposed to enjoy the previous 18 years before said date? Like, was that supposed to be a thing? Or was it just supposed to be, I got my kids to 18 Oh, stepfather and step parents. I'll tell you this real quick because I'm a bow out in a second. Stepfather and step parents, y'all job is to be there, and it's just to solely be there. It's to be there. I tell you this, I hated the whole step parent thing, and I'm just being honest about my past. I had step parents that took from me growing up. I had the worst step parent situations. We live without lights. We live without food because of the step parent thing. I don't really like to, get into much about the step parent thing, but the step parent thing, be there. Try to be there. And I mean, whether it's mental, physical, financial, just be there. Don't take away. Don't be that person that comes into the house and is like, and this is my last one. Don't touch none of my Pop Tarts. You a grown ass man talking about some goddamn Pop Tarts. Nigga, who the fuck paid for the Pop Tarts? Don't tell me that the person that you live with is the person that paid for those Pop Tarts. Because, nigga, that's the kids' Pop Tarts. But the parents in our community, guess what they like to do? Oh, don't touch my man's Pop Tarts. Don't touch his Pop Tarts because he said he likes Pop Tarts. If that nigga ain't getting up, if that nigga ain't doing what the fuck he gotta do as a man, and you sitting here telling your kids not to touch his snacks, and I'm gonna say it very politely, bitch, that's the foods. That's the kids' snacks. That's not your man's snacks when you getting food stamps for your kids. That's the goddamn kids' snacks. And how many times have y'all seen that in our community? And Jay, I hope that every step parent comes in and is an addition to the household to keep it sturdy and stuff like that. You can't, and I'm not saying that like you can't provide everything that the actual father would, but you can't provide 1,000% unless that father is completely gone out of the situation. But do your best. I appreciate the back end of my step parent experience or whatever whenever I was growing up because it got better at the end. But day by day with the step parent thing, just try to be an addition, not a hindrance to it. But how many times have y'all seen that, so I can cut out of here? How many times have y'all seen where the parent really sits here and feeds a nigga that don't do shit and then go to the kids and tell the kids how they can't have certain shit because that's the step parent shit? That's the type of bullshit that we grow up in our community. And I done probably said enough. And if y'all like this topic, I'll get on it another day. I appreciate everybody for commenting. I see I got 29 comments. Y'all showed the fuck out this time. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I appreciate good or bad for real. Y'all, like, I really do. Thanks for the support. I'm going to do this again anytime y'all want me to. But this has been So What's the Issue? I'm your boy Solo Foe. Thank y'all for listening.